Transport Minister to get tough on drunken drivers, and judgment in the Tafelsig backyard dwellers case expected tomorrow. Good afternoon. Transport Minister Ndebele says he's considering amending legislation governing the legal alcohol limit for drivers. Ndebele says he's also considering amendments to traffic laws which will enable authorities to cancel licenses of new drivers who find themselves on the wrong side of the law. Lyndon Khan reports.
The minister says authorities will also have the power to suspend offenders from reapplying for licenses for a given period. He says evidence shows that alcohol plays a significant role in many road collisions. Ndebele says for this reason it is important to continuously review existing legal requirements. He says the department will determine the appropriate limit once it has undertaken scientific and medical research. The current legal alcohol limit is 0.05 grams per 100 millilitres of blood. Lyndon Khan, SABC News, Parliament.
The Gauteng Health Department is facing over 800 million rand in legal claims. This is contained in the department's annual report tabled in the legislature last week. Most of the claims relate to alleged negligence in the treatment of patients. The DA's Jack Bloom says this is hugely disturbing.
I wish they would fix up the hospitals in the first place rather than people suing them for negligence in our hospitals. It's really very sad. I hope that they fix up the management of our hospitals so that we don't have so many legal claims.
The Health Professionals Council has decided to withdraw 2 of 6 charges against biological warfare expert Wouter Basson. The first charge is that Basson accepted an appointment by the Surgeon General as Project Officer of Chemical and Biological War Research. The other charge related to claims Basson was involved in using facilities where chemical substances were dispersed. Basson's misconduct hearing resumed today after almost 3 years. He was involved in the apartheid government's Project Coast, which produced various drugs, tear gas and other chemical agents. Judgment in an application for leave to appeal by Tafelsig backyard dwellers against their eviction from council land will be handed down in the Western Cape High Court tomorrow. The residents have illegally occupied the land since May. The City of Cape Town says it has offered the residents alternative accommodation in Delft. City spokesperson Kylie Hatton.
In addition, the city also argued that the issue of alternative accommodation did not require being coupled to the court order itself, because the city's view is that this was a land invasion which the city immediately attempted to stop, and unfortunately we were not able to do so, and hence we applied to the court for an eviction order and an interdict to protect the land from future invasion.
Further afield, Greek Finance Minister Evangelos Venizelos has dismissed reports that he has discussed a scenario of an orderly default by Athens with International Monetary Fund chief and the European Central Bank head. More details have emerged of a major new plan being drawn up to tackle the debt crisis in the Eurozone. Those who have attended the meeting of the IMF in Washington say banks and other institutions holding Greek debt will have to accept a 50% loss of its value. The BBC's Robert Peston has more.
Turning this outline into a practical reality will be immensely difficult. MPs in Eurozone member states will be concerned that taxpayers would be taking much more risk, and banks will balk at raising expensive new capital, given that only a few weeks ago most of them were passed as healthy by European regulators. But the price of failure could be a financial crisis that would probably turn anemic global growth into a recession or worse.
And finally, archaeologists in Italy have discovered the 800-year-old remains of a suspected witch on the side of a disused church. The woman's body was found without a shroud or coffin, with 7 nails driven into her jawbone. More nails had been hammered into the ground around her and probably into her clothing as well, in the belief that it would stop her rising from the dead. Another woman's body was found nearby, surrounded by dice. Archaeologists believe their burial may have been connected to a ritual. Recapping the top story, Transport Minister Ndebele says he's considering amending legislation governing the legal alcohol limit for drivers.